Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Emerging Choreographer Series number 10. Thank you so much to LPAC for giving us such a warm and welcoming home for the last 10 years. We want to thank Stephen Hitt for bringing this program to LPAC. We want to thank Handan and Isabel in the office. We want to thank Carmen, of course, Chris Weston on lights, Sarah for stage management, and everyone else in the booth and backstage. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. The Emerging Choreographer Series is a crash course in self-producing. Over 60 choreographers auditioned this year. We selected 8. Those who we did select got about 45 hours of free studio space. We paid them. We paid their dancers by the hour. Very important. And we connected them with consultations with light, sound, costumes, writing, budgeting, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and community building. Just want to give a quick reminder to please keep the aisles open, because one of the pieces you'll see is happening in the aisles. No pictures or videos if you don't mind. Please turn off your phones or anything else that makes noise and enjoy the show. Thank you. Or something like that. Okay, so now my main job is to keep talking until they take up the tap floor. And it's a good time to talk about sponsorship because this tap floor was donated by Music for the Soul Tap Dance Company for letting us use it. That wasn't me. I also want to thank the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs for their generous donation and also the New York State Council on the Arts. We have sponsorships, people that partner with us and give us free studio space and things like that. And it's sponsors that allow us to have a bigger program that we can actually afford. For instance, Jamaica Center for Arts and Learning, American Tap Dance Foundation, Arts on Site, and Flushing Town Hall all donated space. And it's you.
I would like to take a moment to thank people that we have in the audience tonight. As Kevin said, we have a lot of collaborators. We have mentors. We have one-on-one mentorship for these choreographers. We have consultants. We have feedback panels to give them feedback along the way. So in the house tonight, we have Ryan Prado, our collaborator, film editor, filmographer, and videographer. Thank you very much. We also, yes, thank you. We also have Nicole Von Harks. She's a returning mentor. She was with us a couple of years ago. And this year, Nicole is mentoring Maria. Thank you. We also have Sari Lou Venning, which is the sound composition and editing for Lavi's piece. And then last but not least, we have our international partner, Antonio Piofini for the Fini Dance New York. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later because the stage is now clean. So we can go back to the show. Thank you.
सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास। सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास।
I mean, like, how can you get away from the embodiment and actualization, realization, exploration of self and it not be spiritually informed? So, like, because my transition is this actualization of self, that speaks a lot to how I am perceiving destiny. And I feel like that is what spirituality is it serves the purpose of aligning us with destiny, helping us to rewrite, inform, influence, and define what our destiny is, the paths and roles that we decide to take in life. And also helps us to remember that, like, you know, we are in a community of spiritual beings.
Homeostasis is this thing that I keep coming back to when I think about how I feel. Because it feels less big and outlandish and more just kind of like a quieting. Because I feel like I always have this, like, frantic buzz in my head. And, like, yeah, I'm an anxious person. And, like, even with transitioning, I still have that and hold that. But
you associate quieting with spirituality?
yeah, I do. I feel like I can really, like, listen and tap into, like, a wider connection. I feel like spirituality for me personally, like, my personal definition of it is about, like, connecting with others in a way that's, like, not necessarily tangible, even though it might have, like, tangible like, outcomes.
Like, being in this body on purpose, like wanting to be trans on purpose. Because there's, like you said, there's alchemy. I love that word, alchemy, like in reference to transition, because there's something about it. Like, I don't know. It's like, I'm not trying to be a cis woman. I always think this. Like, trans womanhood is not in search of cis womanhood. It is intentionally trans.
There can be no middle way in dealing with transgenderism. It is all or nothing. If transgenderism is true, if men really can become women, then it's true for everybody of all ages. If transgenderism is false, as it is, if men really can't become women, as they cannot, then it's false for everybody too. And if it's false, then we should not indulge it, especially since that indulgence requires taking away the rights and customs of so many people. If it is false, then for the good of society, and especially for the good of the poor people who have fallen prey to this confusion, transgenderism must be eradicated from public life entirely. The whole preposterous ideology at every level.
I'm not trying to be a cis woman.
Or reflections, but just like this, like, feeling of closeness to others, and just also, like, feeling spiritual, I feel like is a connection to, like, the divine and divinity.
Beyond the way that like society fantasizes us and like like tries to dehumanize us in the sense that they're fantasizing us, like I feel as though like to oppose that, I personally fantasize the girls as being mystical creatures or being like like superhuman, but not in a dehumanizing way, in a superhumanizing way. Like I feel as though like we are superhumans.
I love what you said about like not internalizing all the stares that we get, because some people really don't know, and it's actually just more emotional labor for us to try to decipher from the outside in what they're thinking. Like it's just too much. Like my existence is already a little more dense than most people. I don't want to have to do that emotional labor unless I am asked and I feel so called to do so for someone I love and care about, like extending myself for the spiritual growth of someone I care about, aka love. So much of, I think, being trans too is giving birth to ourselves, being born again even, which has such a spiritual connotation to it, especially given that a lot of us were raised under Christian archetypes. So much of my transition is spiritual, and so much of how I transition is informed by how I can upkeep my spiritual health. And and what it's making me look at things through a spiritual lens, because if I'm to feel like I can move through the world as I physically change, then I need to make sure that I have like a spiritual rock, or like a foundation that isn't reliant upon physical things, because what's physical will pass away, it will change, just like my body is. And so I feel like my foundation needs to be spiritual, it needs to be personal, so that it can hold me through such drastic and dramatic physical change, like such drastic changes to how I relate to myself and other people in the world. Search of cis womanhood. It is intentionally trans. Like it is.
My
Yeah.
girl, she kind of like are the. If people could come to understand our experience, person is doing the work at like the most deepest core level to authenticate self. And if everyone
It's
had
so
like
important
kids,
that
not like an idealized, but like if everyone
around me
had like
with
the
others,
boldness
who's willing and able to hold
it's really
space
liberating when I can just
for my
when I
transition
can't do that because I
and to hold
am
space for
aligned with
where I
myself
am in my
enough.
transition.
And I think that's what transitioning is
And
and
to
was for
affirm,
me
to have
is like
community that affirms
being
what
able
I
to
know to be
feel.
true.
I feel like connection as liberation has to be genuine. Like nothing out of obligation or like you're forced to or like you're just like meeting expectations. Like it's something you genuinely want and can do.
ਝੁਮਰ ਝੁਮਰ ਝੁਮਰ
ਓਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਭਰੂ ਦੇਸ਼ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ
ਬੱਲੇ ਬੱਲੇ ਬੱਲੇ
ਬਈ ਸਾਡੇ ਸੀਨੇ ਵਾਂਗ ਚਟਾਨ ਜਦੋਂ ਡਟੀਏ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਦਾਨ ਦੇ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਵੈਰੀ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਨਾ ਆਣ ਓਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਲ ਮਿਲ ਝੁਮਰਾ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਓ ਮੇਰੇ ਬੇਲੀਓ ਰਲ ਮਿਲ ਝੁਮਰਾ ਪਾਵਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਢੋਲੀ ਢੋਲ ਤੇ ਡੱਗਾ ਲਾਣ ਹੋ ਜਦੋਂ ਢੋਲੀ ਢੋਲ ਤੇ ਡੱਗਾ ਲਾਣ ਤੇਰੇ ਹੱਥ ਮਾਹੀ ਵੇ ਗਾਨਾ ਸ਼ੋਰਾ ਵੇਰਾ ਵੀ ਵਾਲੜਿਆ ਸ਼ੋਰਾ ਵੇਰਾ ਵੀ ਵਾਲੜਿਆ ਤੇਰੇ ਸ਼ਰਕੇ ਲਹਿਰਾਂ ਲਾਈਆਂ ਸ਼ੋਰਾ ਵੇਰਾ ਵੀ ਵਾਲੜਿਆ ਸ਼ੋਰਾ ਵੇਰਾ ਵੀ ਵਾਲੜਿਆ ਤੇਰੇ ਚੋਲੇ ਝੁਮਰਾ ਪਾਈਆਂ ਸ਼ੋਰਾ ਵੇਰਾ ਵੀ ਵਾਲੜਿਆ ਸ਼ੋਰਾ ਵੇਰਾ ਵੀ ਵਾਲੜਿਆ ਤੇਰੀ ਜੁੱਤੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪਾਈਆਂ ਸ਼ੋਰਾ ਵੇਰਾ ਵੀ ਵਾਲੜਿਆ ਸ਼ੋਰਾ ਵੇਰਾ ਵੀ ਵਾਲੜਿਆ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਘੜਾ ਚਵਾ ਤੇ ਜਾਵੀਂ ਤੂੰ ਲਾਈਆਂ ਤੋੜ ਨਵਾਵੀਂ ਸ਼ੋਰਾ ਵੇਰਾ ਵੀ ਵਾਲੜਿਆ ਸ਼ੋਰਾ ਵੇਰਾ ਵੀ ਵਾਲੜਿਆ ਉੱਚੀਆਂ ਲੰਮੀਆਂ ਥਾਲੀਆਂ ਹੋ ਬੇਲੀਆਂ ਏਠੂ ਬੱਕੇ ਦਰਿਆ ਓ ਮੈਂ ਦਰਿਆ ਦੀ ਮੱਛਲੀ ਵੇ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਪਗਲਾ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਆ ਵੇ ਹਾੜੀਆਂ ਪਗਲਾ ਬਣ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਅਸ਼ਕਵਾ ਸ਼ੋਰਾ ਦੁੱਧ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਤਾਣੀ ਪੁੱਛਦੀ ਬਈ ਦੁੱਧ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਤਾਣੀ ਪੁੱਛਦੀ ਉਹ ਪੀਨੇ ਜਾਗ ਹੰਝੂਆਂ ਦਾ ਲਾਇਆ ਦੁੱਧ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਤਾਣੀ ਪੁੱਛਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਘਰ ਘਰ ਪੁੱਛਦੀ ਫਿਰਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਘਰ ਘਰ ਪੁੱਛਦੀ ਫਿਰਾਂ ਉਹ ਪੀਨੇ ਜਾਗ ਹੰਝੂਆਂ ਦਾ ਲਾਇਆ ਘਰ ਘਰ ਪੁੱਛਦੀ ਫਿਰਾਂ ਵਾਹ ਵਾਹ ਕਰੀਰਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਮਿੱਠੇ ਡੇਲੇ ਵਾਹ ਵਾਹ ਕਰੀਰਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਮਿੱਠੇ ਡੇਲੇ ਓਏ ਅਸਾਂ ਢੋਲ ਖੜਾਇਆ ਕਿ ਪੇਸ਼ੀ ਦੀ ਕਰਵੇਲੇ ਓਏ ਅਸਾਂ ਢੋਲ ਖੜਾਇਆ ਉਹ ਪੇਸ਼ੀ ਦੀ ਕਰਵੇਲੇ ਮੁਰਗਾਹੀ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਮੈਂ ਤਰਦੀ ਵੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਮੁੰਡਿਆ ਉਹ ਤੇਰੇ ਮੁੰਡਿਆ ਪਸੰਦ ਨਾ ਆਈ ਮਾਝੇ ਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਜੱਟੀ ਬੇਲੀਆ ਵੇ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਮਾਲਵੇ ਦਾ ਉਹ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਮਾਲਵੇ ਦਾ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਲੜ ਲਾਈ ਬਾਜ਼ਾਰ ਵਕਾਂਦੀ ਵਰਫੀ ਬਾਜ਼ਾਰ ਵਕਾਂਦੀ ਵਰਫੀ ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਦੇ ਨਿੱਕੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਚਰਖੀ ਦੁੱਖਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਕੱਤਾਂ ਪੂਣੀਆਂ ਢੋਲ ਮੱਖਣਾ ਚਿੱਤ ਪਰਦੇਸੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਰਾਜੀ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਆਵਾ ਰਮਜ ਫਕੀਰਾ ਤੇਰੀ ਸ਼ਹਿਦ ਗੁੜੇ ਤੋਂ ਮਿੱਠੀ ਓਏ ਆਈ ਜਵਾਨੀ ਹਰ ਕੋਈ ਵੇਂਦਾ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾ ਡਿੱਠੀ ਬਈ ਇਸ਼ਕ ਤਾਂ ਹਰ ਦਮ ਤਾਜ਼ਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਉਹ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਦਾੜੀ ਹੋ I was once told that walking through a doorway could cause someone to forget even the most precious memories they had. Memories of good, memories of bad, memories of love and of loss, all tucked away neatly, stored like the worn-out blankets that were kept to dress the rainy days and bad habits that happen from time to time. Or what it felt like to rest your head on a friend's shoulder that still carries with it the creases from where you last placed your heart. Just like that. Gone within a single step. That somehow 3 beams and an imaginary line drawn across some old aching floorboards were all that stood between you and the infinite silence of the very things that once colored your mind with sound. It's funny. You can make yourself believe almost anything if you think about it for long enough. Was that you? I was once told that the love I felt beating inside my chest was nothing more than my mind playing an unfair trick on my heart. And like a pair of dice dancing along the uneven pavement, their fate, much like yours or mine, had already been decided. That even the cracks that drew their faults between 2 opposing sides could not escape a fate that was always destined to be sealed. To think that someone could actually believe that the swelling tides of my heart were no more than an anxious highway of ins and outs anchoring my imagination to the castles I've been building in the sky. Well, maybe they are the crazy ones. Then again, I have been known to misplace my hope in the way things fall. And if I had to confess, there stands a greater chance that I've all but lost my mind in here. So I suppose it's better off this way. Because I've always believed that the odds of finding what you seek tend to favor those who are open to seeking them in the first place. And I, for one, have never quite understood how odds stand to get even without that frame in mind. To be clear, I've seen a million faces. I've seen a million different faces, each one mirroring that of your own. And still, none of them have felt like home to me. None of them have felt like you. So here we are. And I can vaguely and strangely trace your outline. I can remember what it felt like to hold you. I can remember what it was like to stare blindly into your eyes for what felt like an eternity. How could I forget that? I could never forget that. I could never forget you.
Sometimes you look the same, just like you did before the accident. When you're staring into space, it's hard to believe you don't remember it. Woke up in the ambulance, you pieced it all together on the drive. I know you don't remember calling me, but I told you even then you look so pretty in a hospital bed. I remember you said you were scared, and so was I. And a standstill on the 5. Thought it was unusually early traffic. Usually I don't panic, I just wanted to be on time. When I saw the ambulances on the shoulder, I didn't even think of pulling over. I pieced it all together late that night. And I know you don't remember calling me, but I told you even then you look so and so was I. What if it happened to you on a different day, on a bridge where there wasn't a rail in the way, or a neighborhood street where the little kids play, or the Angeles crest in the snow or the rain? What if you weren't alone, there were kids in the car? What if you were remote, no one knows where you are? If you changed anything, would you not have survived? You're alive, you're alive, you're alive. And I know you don't remember calling me, but I told you even then you looked so pretty in your hospital bed. I remember you said you were scared. And so am I.
No matter how long it takes for my words to make their way through the vastness of this place we've called home, I unto you and you unto me, I say them and will continue to do so. Day after day, night after night, never knowing if you'll actually hear them. There's no place for time here. Just overlapping moments where I thought I'd found you, where I thought I heard the sound of your breath, where I felt your heart as it waited patiently for mine, retracing the steps that we left in the life before last, before our eyes closed, before the great divide, before a doorway stood between you and me. As it stands, I found myself in that doorway again, with both feet in and your heart on my sleeve. But I can't bring myself to walk through this time. Not yet, at least. Not until I take one last look and see that it was you. That it was always you. Our hearts strewn across those old fragile floorboards. The silhouettes of each and every one of our memories playing out like a story that we both know we've seen before. I remember now. This was where I first found you. And beyond those closed doors, I will find you again. My love. I will find you again. I will find you again. I will find you.
Microphone? Is it on? Now I'm on. We have one more piece to go, and while we set up, I want to share with you a collaboration that we have with the Fini Dance NYC Summer School, Italy. The piece that you just saw, Giulia Penza that you just saw, she was selected in Italy last summer while me and Kevin were teaching a choreography lab of 1 week. Well, this year we're extending the program to 2 weeks. You have a pamphlet in your program. And why I would love you to take a look about it, because this year we are accepting international choreographers in specific US choreographers. So the program will be essentially a mini ECS. You will be able to explore a new concept, a new idea. You will be able to have feedback from me and Kevin about your piece, describing the piece, talking about the piece, ideas about costuming, lighting, everything you do essentially in DCS in a very condensed time. Collaboration with the Fini Dance includes possibility of having performance in Italy and at the Fini Dance Gala in New York City. Collaborate with local dancers and the chance to be selected for ECS 2024.
Okay. Also, we want to remind everybody, or let you know, inform you, that next Sunday, April 2nd, we're going to do the show again, low-tech studio showing at Flushing Town Hall, followed by a Q&A and a little pizza party. The pizza, speaking of sponsorships, is from Il Fornino in Brooklyn. So if you ever find yourself in Brooklyn, you want some pizza, go to Il Fornino and let them know that you're eating there because they donated to this arts program, okay? Let them know that you know about it. Cool. All right, so I hope to see you next Sunday as well. Please enjoy the final. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for coming to ECS number 10. As you can see at Mare Nostrum Elements, we celebrate all forms of dance. We honor all forms of dance. So I hope you enjoyed the show. And please, without further ado, we would love to introduce choreographers in order that you saw them tonight. First, we have Adriana Ogle.
Maria Angela Talavera Tejeda.
Ankita Sharma.
Lavi Cavalier.
Kiran Wilson.
Hamija Singh.
Julia Penza.
And last but not least, you just saw her, Michaela Peterson.
Thanks for coming, everybody. Have a good night.